guys, happy Monday. Today's read aloud is Papi, How Many Stars Are in the Sky? The author who writes the words is Angel Vigil, and there are two illustrators that draw the pictures, Adil Ahmad and Martin James. So let's get started. Whenever they visited their grandparents' farm, Ariana, Carlos, and Maria gathered after dinner to listen to their grandfather's stories. Grandparents have the best stories. On warm nights, they sat on the porch with their grandfather, rocking peacefully in his old wooden rocking chair. He always waited until dusk to begin. That's when the sun starts to go down. Like children everywhere, the children had a favorite story. And like grandparents everywhere, the grandfather never got tired of telling it. That night was a perfect night for that story as they looked up at the evening sky, just beginning to fill with its bright, shiny stars. The children began to chant, this is in Spanish, so Papi, ¿cuántas estrellas hay en el cielo? Papi, how many stars are in the sky? Papi gazed lovingly at each of his grandchildren and asked them, ¿Cuántas piensas tú? That means, how many do you think? How many do you think are in the sky? Carlos raised his arms to the starry darkness, saying, there must be a zillion, a zillion. Wow, that would be a lot of stars. The grandfather laughed heartedly. Well, mijo, that is pretty close. Maybe we'd better count them. But first, I have to tell you the story about the stars and why they're in the sky. And knowing the story was about to begin, the children pulled themselves even closer to their grandfather. Ariana nestled comfortably in his lap, while the others leaned against his legs. So here's Ariana in his lap. Just as he had countless times before, Papi gazed up towards the stars. That means he was looking at the stars and pointed with his finger. You see, mijos, every time a child is born, a new star is added to the sky. And that star shines forever for the child. That's why there's so many bright, shining stars. Every child is a gift from the universe, and each star tells the story of a child's life. So nice. As they listened, the children dreamily searched the starry sky, imagining all the children in the world. And secretly, they tried to find the stars that were theirs, the bright stars telling the stories of their lives. Wow, look at these. The grandfather's soothing voice continued. If you look around, you can imagine that the stars make pictures. We can tell stories about the pictures. Since tonight is a fall night, like the season we're in, we see the fall animals. See, over there is a bear that once chased your father in a forest. Wow. What do you think this looks like? Can you see the ladle towards the back of the bear? It tells the story of the delicious stew your mother makes for you. So the stars can make pictures. Here's another one. Over there is a lizard, like the one I once caught at the water pond. Wow, look at how pretty that looks. And through the middle of it all runs the bright starry path of the Milky Way, leading you back home if you ever get lost. It would be really fun to go outside at night and look with your parents or your grandma and grandpa at all the stars. Knowing that their favorite part of the story was nearing, the children repeated their chorus. Papi, ¿cuántas estrellas hay en el cielo? How many stars are in the sky? Patiently, the grandfather began. Well, let's count them, Ariana. You count. Let's see. Sweet Ariana looked at the sky with steady eyes and proudly proclaimed, Hey, una, look, a big one. As the other children smiled, the grandfather lovingly said, Yes, Ariana, you are so right. There is one big star in the sky. Let's see what that star is called. Does anyone else, I think they were talking about the North Star. Does anyone else want to count the stars in the sky? Papi asked. Carlos answered, I'm learning to count in school, like you guys. With a deep laugh, the grandfather said, Yes, there are 10 stars in the sky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But if we keep counting like that, you will never get to bed. Maria, do you want to count? They are all taking turns. Maria counted carefully. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Whoa! Should I keep counting, Papi? Chuckling softly, the grandfather said, Well, what do you think, children? Do you guys think Maria should keep counting? Let's see. But the children knew that their grandfather had finally reached their favorite part. Together they shouted, Papi, you count. You tell us how many stars are in the sky. With his calm voice, the grandfather said, Mijos, look at the stars in the night sky. All my life I have been counting the stars in the sky. And finally, I now know that there are 50 estrellas in the sky. The children howled with delight. 50? There are more than 50. Wow, so pretty. And just as he had countless times before, the grandfather shook his head, saying, No, not the number 50, which means 50, but the words 50, which means infinity. That's a big word. That means there are so many stars that you can't count them all. Infinity means go on and on forever. Your lives are like that too. There are so many things that you can do or be. You can't count them all, just like you can't count all the stars. There are no limits. So true. As he put his grandchildren to bed, the grandfather sang a lullaby to them. He sang it in Spanish just as he had heard it when he was a child. Miss Cronin is not going to sing the lullaby in Spanish, but I thought it was beautiful. Later, snugly tucked into their beds, the children thought of their grandfather's story and all the beautiful stars in the sky. As they fell asleep, they dreamed of the many adventures their lives could hold. Aventuras 50, infinity. That was such a sweet book. So maybe tonight, because it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day, at dusk or when the sun goes down, you guys can go outside and look at the stars and see if you see any pictures or try to count them yourselves. Have a great day, everybody. It's going to be a good week. Bye.